did what any normal new driver would do. I try to flee, and then I pull into a parking lot, Blockbuster parking lot that was in like a little strip mall.
Yeah.
And I park into the first parking spot I can find in the middle of a bunch of other cars, and I turn off my car and like hide. It was instinct. I don't know how I did it. I just knew to do it.
Welcome to Song Swap Showdown. I am one of two of your hosts, Chris Vaglio, and I am joined by Amanda, that girl,
That's
Sharp.
right. But you know what? This is going to be a fabulous show. And I feel like I say that every single week, but like,
Yeah.
I really, really, really also mean it this week.
I know. Well, you do mean it this week. I think you mean it every week, but this week in particular, this will be a fun one because we were already starting before we went on. We were already starting to like talk nostalgia, and I'm like, oh, we got to save it for the show, save it for the show. So yes, good morning, Dave Mattingly, New Wave Dave, our VIP himself. I said good morning, music mixers. I think we're gonna have a lot of people chiming in today. So if you are watching us live, of course, please feel free to chime in and play along as we go on throughout the day, because I feel like you're gonna have a lot of memories to share if you want to share. And real quick, some quick housekeeping. If this is your first time checking out Song Swap Showdown, whether you're joining us live here on our live stream, as we normally do at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Monday, or you're catching us on demand on YouTube or listening to us on the go wherever you get podcasts, we welcome you. And how the show typically works is every week, Amanda and I each swap 3 songs each with one another that we don't think the other's heard before. And those song selections, the little playlists we build for each other, are based on a theme that is chosen by spinning the wheel of themes at the end of every episode, which is compiled by our ideas and your ideas, our community. That is right. This is a community effort. And so those ideas are thrown on the wheel of themes, and we spin it at the end of every show. So that's why you want to stay all the way to the end, so that way you can find out what next week's theme will be. We then rate those songs on a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a dumpster fire. No, don't like it. Goodbye. Shoot. It's going to be a flat tire of a song. You see what I did there?
I did.
All the way up to 5 records, which is heavily music to our ear, which is Riding on the Highway to Heaven. So is it a highway to hell or a highway to heaven? That is 1 to 5 records this week. Amanda, last week, as we do, we spun the wheel of themes, and it landed on a fun one that was chosen by one of our community members.
Yes.
Miss Angel Love. We love her. Thank you so much for suggesting that. What is our theme this week, Amanda?
It is Pitcher. You just are newly licensed, and you have keys in your hand, and you are like just getting ready to press on the gas pedal and go on your maiden voyage behind the wheel of your very first vehicle for the very first time. Yep. What is playing on the radio?
Woo! Yes. That freedom, getting your driver's license, and for me, I'm pretty sure probably for you, I think for most parts of the country, 17 is the legal age to get your license. Although I think in like Pennsylvania, it's 16.
We're a 16.
Michigan's a 16?
Yeah. Owen started doing so.
Wow.
When
okay.
we got our driver's licenses, it was a little different than I think what the babies have to go through these days. Where
right, it's a little different.
Yeah, Owen starts taking driver's education at 14 years and 9 months.
Wow. Actually, that's actually really smart. I think the more they learn early on to drive and the rules of the road, the better off it's going to be, you would think.
Yes, because when I took it, I took an education course that was, I honestly think it was, I drove for like 6 hours behind a wheel with Mr. What was his name? For like 6 hours total. Then you take the test.
Yeah. You take the written test.
Yes. And then you're like deemed worthy enough to be behind a wheel that could literally kill somebody or yourself. Like, so now I don't disagree that there was some more training needed. So the hours here in Michigan, there's 2 segments that you have to go through, and you have to document through an app many hours, which include nighttime driving.
Yeah, nighttime driving is definitely, I think for me, and still to this day, I hate driving at night. And I remember driving at night for the very first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is that is a scary thing to do when you haven't been used to doing it. And so for here in New Jersey, at 16, you get your learner's permit.
Okay.
And they're on your learner's permit for the year until you get,
wow.
You take your driver's test, and then, when you pass your driver's test, you get your full-on license. If you don't, then you got to keep taking it again until you pass. I remember that the written test, I actually failed by like 2 points or something like that. Like, it was so close. I couldn't believe it. So I had to take the written test again because you can't get your learner's permit without taking the written test. Sure. It's like a whole thing. I was so devastated. I'm like, how did I possibly fail this? Like, I studied so hard for it, and I had to pass.
Go and take it at the Secretary of State, I believe, when I was doing it, where my son actually takes it at the education center now. He doesn't have to take it at the actual Secretary of State. And so it's basically like every student will pass.
Right.
They'll just be like, all right, try again.
Yeah.
Try again. Because they're really heavy on just behind the wheel experience. Yeah. And that's a whole different ballgame when you have kids and you're the passenger seat driver on your kids in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You do not have a brake pedal like the instructors do.
Yeah, it's definitely teaching my kids, both my daughters, how to drive is an experience, because then I go, man, now I know what my parents went through. Mostly my father was the one that taught me how to drive. I'm like, now I remember, now I know how he felt. Like it's different when now you're the teacher.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
With your girls being a little bit older than Owen, I'm pretty sure we had a conversation where I called you in tears.
Yes.
Or at least voice messaged you in tears. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, it's not easy, man. It was definitely a lot of screaming and shouting and getting angry. And I'm like, now I know exactly how my father felt.
Yep. I thought Owen was going to hate me for the rest of his life after a terrible incident of parallel parking. It was so bad.
Parallel parking is the worst.
I was like, Chris, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. So, listen, I know we can go on and on. We got a lot of stories to talk about. We got a lot of songs to get to today. I know everybody's going to have a lot of nostalgia, probably a lot of comments. So, once again, please feel free to put them in while you're watching live. Or if you're checking out the replay of this and you're on YouTube, feel free to add the comments afterwards as well. Before we dive in, though, want to just share a little something really quick. So, anybody that's been following our journey here, if you've been following the show over the last 3 seasons, or if you're new to the show, great. You've probably heard us talk a little bit about, especially when it comes to our YouTube channel, some of the growth we've been experiencing. And honestly, that's due to all you guys, everybody out there. We really appreciate it. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We're always saying, hit that subscribe button, smash the bell, hit that subscribe button. And you've been doing it. You've actually been listening to us and doing that. And so we have really had a lot of growth here. And so it's 2023 when we're recording this video, and we've talked about this before, but just to recap. In January of this year, we had 137 subscribers on this show. But I think it was something like that. And we were
proud of that. And
we were so proud. We were like, we're over 100. This is great.
This is big news.
Yeah, so we were so proud of that. And then it kind of sat there for a bit. And then somewhere very early spring, we started seeing an uptick. Very small, but we're like, oh, people are subscribing. And then at some point, it just went zoom. And here we are. We can proudly say, as of today, we're sitting at over 4,000 subscribers on this channel. So in a little over 8 months, we went from 137 to over 4,000. And it's because of everybody here. You guys all seem to like the content. We appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who takes the time to comment and engage with us here on YouTube. Good or bad, we like it. As long as you're having fun, and if we provoke an emotion one way or the other, well, hopefully you've stuck around to see more and maybe see what else we're gonna say. So we really appreciate all of you, and we've had so many great comments from the community here. So many notes of congratulations. But we actually had one. You sent one to me this morning, Amanda, which was really nice.
Yes.
This was really nice. You want to set this up, and while I get this queued up and ready to go?
Absolutely. Well, while we love the support, we also love supporting others. And so I had reached out to I'll say like a brother fellow YouTube channel and just saying congratulations to them on their growth that they've had this year. And I had said, hey, you know what? If you want us to do a little ad read on you for our podcast, we would be more than happy to do that. And so here we were expecting, just a little plug-in for his show, which is so amazing. And he ended up sending us a message like this instead. And when we heard it this morning, we just couldn't help but smile. And we hope you guys can too. And it also will dive into a little bit of what his podcast is about because it is so much fun.
Hey, Chris and Amanda, Lee from Lights Camera Ranch. Want to say a big congratulations on you guys hitting 4K on your YouTube channel. You guys have been killing it all year, and I can't wait to see where you guys are going to be in the next 12 months. I have no doubt you will hit 10K within that time frame, and it's just going to be so fantastic to see. And look, if any of your listeners or viewers are looking for any new TV or movie recommendations, I highly recommend to come and jump over to Lights Camera Rant, where we're ranting, raving, and reviewing all the latest movies and TV shows and video games. But I just am so proud of you guys, and it's just fantastic to see. Hope you guys have a great day.
Let's dive into it. Let's start the show. It's just so much great stuff. So, all right. So once again, we traded songs. We swapped songs with each other. These are definitely songs in a time capsule because these would have been the songs that we would have been listening to. They definitely would have been on our playlist, on our mixtapes and CDs going as we're the freedom of driving our vehicles for the first time and being able to crank the tunes we want to listen to, not be beholden to our parents' radio, even though we'd fight for them. Like, put my music on, and make our parents have to sit through stuff that they weren't exactly into. But man, I remember, so I got my license. So here we go. Here's the date. My birthday is on March 15th, and I got my license in the tender year of 1991. That's when I got my driver's license. So
it was the year of 1991.
Yes, the year of 1991 is when I got my driver's license. And so looking back at that time and what I would have been listening to really hasn't changed too much. My musical taste really hasn't changed much. I mean, I'm still listening to a lot of the same songs. Definitely some newer bands that weren't even out then, but it was when I looked back to say, oh, wait, what would I have been listening to? What albums came out around that time? And I was like, oh my gosh, and I totally remember like having those cassettes because your car, and we've talked about this before. Here's a picture of the inside of my car. Cassette tapes everywhere, usually on the seat, and then you're driving and you're like this and like that. And then the CDs, before you even had the case, you'd have CD jewel boxes everywhere, stuck everywhere. So my first car, I didn't even have a cassette deck or anything in it. I had to go and install. I had to go get one from like Sears and then like have a friend install it. And my first car was a 1986 Mercury Topaz.
Woo!
That was my first car. I think I got it for like $600.
Oh, back when you could get a car that would run for $600.
Yeah. It didn't last very long, but that was the first car. It was a blue, like almost like a powder blue or like sky blue kind of Mercury Topaz.
I love that.
It was a 1986 Mercury Topaz.
But it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was wheels that got you away from home.
Yeah, exactly.
No offense, Mr. and Mrs. Baglio. Nothing personal.
Believe me, they were happy. But it was great. I drive myself to work, drive myself to school. It was freedom. That's what it was. What was your first car?
It was a 89 Buick Century, and I didn't start driving until 1997-ish, right? So it was white, and it had a red interior, and I called her Ruby. And boy, did I think that car was just perfect. And I did have to sit on a pillow because seats weren't what they are now. They don't go zzz,
nope.
Zzz, nope. It was like clunk.
Yeah, you literally had to sit on a pillow or a rolled up blanket.
Yeah, it either rolled closer to the gas pedal or like in the back, like did go front and back a little bit, but there were not these manipulations to make your seat where it needed to be. So I did have to sit on a pillow the entire time I owned that car.
Yeah. Wow.
But I loved it.
No, listen, it's first car. You definitely in love with your first car, no matter how much of a jalopy it could possibly be.
Absolutely.
Dave is saying my first car was a VW Beetle that was older than me.
You know,
I remember my father had a VW Beetle for a little bit.
I think Beetles are so cute. So cute.
Yeah, they really are. Tony Forkboy Denial checking with good morning. Sorry I'm late. It's okay, sir. We won't.
Hey,
we won't dock you.
Not at all. And happy anniversary a day late. I know I said it yesterday, but happy anniversary to you and your beautiful bride.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, happy anniversary, my friend. And let us know below, everybody, if you're checking us out live, what was your first car? The first car you ever owned? Yep, Tony, the 76 Buick Regal, buddy. Love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with the Buick.
Scott is also checking in, Scott Rewall. I apologize for my tardiness. Everybody's. I think they're apologizing to you more than anyone.
I doubt it.
Yeah, my first car was definitely that thing was. I was trying to think. I don't even think I made it through a whole year with that car.
And then what was the gas price when you started driving?
99 cents. Actually, depends too, because the gas station right by my house, I think was actually 89 cents or 79 cents. And then for super, it was like $1.09 or something like that. Crazy. Yeah, it was, I remember it being like between like 89 cents and 99 cents a gallon.
And I feel like it stayed that way for a very long time. Because that's about what I was paying too when I start, and to look back and go, oh my gosh, to pay like less than $1 for a gallon of gas, mind blowing.
I mean, can you imagine that? And then even going further back to like our parents and all that stuff, like what they paid for gas.
I know.
Yeah, Scott had 81 Camaro. Love it.
That seems really fancy.
Yep, 76 cents a gallon Hess on 46 in Rockaway back in the day. Yeah.
Nice.
Crazy. It was great. Yeah, you used to get Super Tuesday would be the day that you'd get like the little discount a lot of gas stations. The Tuesday discount on gas.
I mean, just think, you could take 4 quarters and get a gallon of gas, and get
a gallon of gas. Like you
you
literally
need to get.
Could pull the change off the floor of your car and get gas.
I can't.
That was back in the day. Back in the day,
we sound old when we say that, but really, back in the day, we could get it for less than $1.
You really could. Lord, crazy. Yes. So for all our younger viewers out there and people who check out the show, yes, we are old, and we remember back in the day when you could get gas for less than $1. So, oh boy. All right. So let's get into it. Let's get into the music. People are here to hear us talk about music. At least I think.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I think they are. But, all right, so we've got some really good tunes picked out for each other this week. And I think it's pretty indicative of, once again, where we're at during the time in our lives, what was on the radio, what was popular, and what we were into back then, which, once again, I said, I am still into these songs that I picked. So not much has changed from 1991 for me.
And the same for me. I think my list is I could have easily contributed this list on a very normal show.
Yeah. Scott would say, cup holders were always good for about 3 gallons of gas. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I love that. That image just filled with change, digging through anything silver.
Even pennies counted at that time.
Heck yeah.
And I will just say, last week I teased about the time that I got pulled over doing an ungodly speed. So if you hang into the last part of this episode, for sure I will share that story.
Story time.
My butt should have gotten arrested.
Oh, okay.
So hang in there for another 6 songs worth, and you're going to hear how I did not go to jail.
Amanda almost was arrested, almost in handcuffs.
My mom would have killed me.
Your mom would have definitely killed you.
Oh, sorry, Mom. She doesn't know.
She's got to know now.
Absolutely.
All right, so who's going first this week? I think I went first last week, right?
Okay, so I'll go first because your first song to me is something. It is Poundcake by Van Halen.
Yes.
Listen.
I love how you start. It was something.
It was something.
I already know I'm off to a bad start when Amanda goes, your first song to me, it was something.
We might as well start with the worst of the three.
What?
Well, come on. It's Poundcake.
Not come on.
I will say, the song started off in a power drill.
Yeah. Eddie playing the drill on a guitar.
I do love the sound of a power drill. I love a power drill.
We know you like power tools.
Yes, I love power tools. So for me, I'm like, all right, that is okay. And then I just feel like the song might have went down from there.
Really?
I do. It was it's over 5 minutes long, including the power drilling.
It's Van Halen. This is a song you turn up to like 100 in the car.
I did not do that.
Wow.
But I can appreciate that you would have. And I just
but it's good for you.
It's good
I
for
appreciate
you.
how you could like it.
Me. And but you know what I found interesting is of all of their songs.
My little Van Halen, my little Eddie Van Halen pop.
Oh, that is cute. That is cute. What I found interesting was of all their songs that was the one that you chose. So explain that to me.
Yeah, so in 1991, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, the FUCK record, came out.
FUCK record.
And, that was, you know me, Tony knows this as well. I'm a huge Van Halen fan. And this was the era of Van Halen when Sammy Hagar was the singer. So this was the third record that they released with Sammy Hagar as a singer. And I loved this record. Like, absolutely loved this record. It came out right at a time when I got my driver's license, and there's nothing better for me than cranking Van Halen as loud as I can out my car windows down. My uncle was the one who got me into Van Halen, and we used to drive around, and he would crank Van Halen.
That's great.
In his car, and he used to have a Fiero back in the day, a Pontiac Fiero, and we used to crank Van Halen and drive around. And so I was like, now that I got my car, I can crank Van Halen. And this record came out just at that time, and I loved it. And I think the production on this record's awesome. I love the way Eddie's guitar sounds. I'm a huge fan, so it's like it's hard for me to speak objectively about Van Halen and this record. Mm-hmm. But I love that this is the album opener. It just cranks, and then this was also the year, I might add, that the Rangers that the Rangers were starting at the beginning of making, having a good season, and then the next year they would win the Stanley Cup. And I remember one of the songs he used to play, which is Don't Dream It's Over, which is another song on this record. So that would be a year later that they would use that in a lot of the promos. So this record as a whole kind of holds a very special place for me.
For sure.
For all those things, like getting my license and the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup, a few years later, actually, 94. So it was like, it was just great. And this record, I absolutely love this record. So yeah, Poundcake.
So I feel like I was a little surprised that this was the song. I'm not surprised that Van Halen was on your list. I was surprised that this was one of your favorites. But you know what? That's the beauty. When you have your own car, you can roll down the windows. And this was before power windows, you guys. So you had to lean very far over to get the passenger one down.
Yeah,
while driving.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I also want to add, I didn't have air conditioner in that car either. The AC didn't work.
I don't think I think I did, but my mom and dad made me think, and this could be true, could not be true, that it used up so much gas. Oh, don't do that because it'll be so much gas. Just use your windows. Yeah. And so I probably absolutely sweated like crazy because of that when I absolutely could have used that.
Right. When you absolutely could have used that.
AC and spent 75 cents on a gallon of gas to be cool all summer long.
Right.
But I like the power drill. It's a long song. I really didn't hate it. And one thing I will say, when I was reading up on the meaning of the song and whatnot, I did appreciate that the song was basically about not pound cake, but it's about people. And it's like, they're like, pound cake, what you see is what you get sometimes, and I go, that's so true, because when you look at pound cake, what you see is what you get.
Yeah. And who doesn't like a good pound cake?
Do you like pound cake?
I when I used to eat that, yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, the Entenmann's pound cake. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. The
Yeah, I
Entenmann's
do.
pound cake.
Sure do.
There's two things that you could show up with at pretty much any gathering if you didn't have time to bake. And one was the Entenmann's pound cake, and the other one's the Entenmann's crumb cake, the coffee crumb cake.
That's my preferred.
Hook,
it's a
line,
little
and
lighter.
sinker.
Yes, the pound cake I can do. I mean, the pound cake's fine, but it's just so much for me. Where the coffee cake,
Yeah.
a little lighter. I like it.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
So you want to hear a little bit of pound cake?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Let's hear some pound cake. Listen to that. Yes.
I can feel the sense of freedom.
Yes. Windows down.
What speed are you going when this one's playing?
If it's on Route 80.
Maybe we shouldn't incriminate yourself.
Although around town, I'm respectful around town. Like back road. You can't go that fast.
Would you turn it down when you be pulling in the driveway? Like
No.
You just keep it blasting.
Keep it blasting. Let them know I'm home. Let the neighbors know I'm home. Hear me coming down the road.
Oh, stop. That's fantastic.
Let's go. It's a great song, man.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. It's a fun song.
I just
Once again, I can't speak objectively about it. I really can't because I love it.
You got the memories attached to it, and that is okay.
I do.
That is okay. So, all right, where do I rate this? I don't hate it.
Chris picked Pound Cake to find a song that Amanda hasn't heard. All the other songs today are big hits. What's up with that?
Well, because it was what was on the radio, right? So I guess
it didn't even have to be on the radio. I was just a Van Halen fan. And it was on the radio, though. Like back here, back in the day, WDHA 105.5, still the rock station here in Northern Jersey, played the heck out of Van Halen. They still play the heck out of Van Halen.
But did they play the heck out of that song?
It was the first single.
Okay, so they would have then. Okay.
This was the first single off that record when it was released.
This was the single, the first single?
Yeah, the second one was Run Around. Which you may...
What a strategy.
Yeah.
That just seems like such an odd choice.
It's Eddie, and he's got it's Van Halen now, but it sounds like a Van Halen song.
All right. So where do I rate this song?
Where do you rate the song on scale of 1 to 5 records? I got a feeling I know what's going to happen.
It's not a dumpster fire. It really is not. It is not a 5 record for me by any stretch of the imagination.
I didn't think it would be.
It's a slightly above average, but not like mid.
Okay.
Above average. So I'm going to put it in at a 3.2.
3.2. So just slightly above mediocre.
Yes. And honestly, it only gained that because of the power drills.
Because of the power drill and the guitar.
Because of the power drills.
All
so
right.
that secured a 0.2 higher than a 3.0.
All right. So 3.2 for Van Halen's Pound Cake.
What do
I have
you
such
guys
great
think?
memories of cruising around with that song blasting, man. And by the way, I just want to say that our community, once again, you guys have such awesome song suggestions that everybody, when we posted this in the group, everybody just, you guys all had, we could make an entire playlist just out of all your songs, which we may even just do because there was so many good songs shared in the group with everybody sharing like their memories and different things they were listening to. So that was really awesome. I brought back a lot of memories to see some of those songs too.
It
so
can
that
be
was,
our
that was
Song
excellent.
Swap Showdown Cruisin' playlist.
Yeah, exactly. And then so Fork Boy, what before Power Windows Amanda, not Windows. We are not that old.
Correct. I did misspeak. Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about doing a live show. We catch all of the stupid things that I misspeak about. And, it's endearing, right?
It is. It's very endearing. He's also saying, my Buick had an 8-track player. I had to go to Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack? To go get the 8-track to cassette adapter.
Yes.
Wow.
Love it.
8-track to cassette adapter. Just like then, you had to get the cassette to CD adapter.
adapter.
So it actually, which was funny. So the car when Madison had gotten her car, my younger daughter, when she had started driving her first car, which we actually just got rid of, it finally died, was a 2004 Lexus that had 148,000 miles on it, and it had a cassette deck in it and a CD player, right? So she doesn't listen to CDs, nor does she listen to cassettes, but we had to get the cassette adapter so she could plug the aux in to her phone.
It never ends. There will always be a need for adapters.
It just was so funny to me to think about the technology and how still like it was like the total marriage of like old school tech, which was so like for us like, oh my God, you could to the phone. So it's like really, I don't know, it's like I found the irony and I thought it was really funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
I mean, quite the move forward in technology in the last 50 years or so. Very fun to see.
Yeah. So, all right. So with all that being said, let me start diving into your first song pick to me. The first song that you swapped with me. And by the way, I'm going to just say I knew 2 out of your 3 songs this week. So this, I was familiar with 2 of them. The third one I was not, which is no shock, I'm sure, to you, considering it was very country artist based. So wasn't on my radar at that time. However, these 2 songs, I definitely know them because one of these songs, this song in particular, Torn, performed by Natalie Imbruglia, released in 1997. Talk about a song that was huge and everywhere. And this is actually my wife's one of her favorite. She does this on karaoke. This is a karaoke song. Yeah.
Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel does this to karaoke. So this is one of her karaoke go-tos. This is a staple.
I applaud you, Rachel.
Yeah. And funny little bit of history about this song, though, because, you know, while we all remember the Natalie Imbruglia version, which is by far the most popular version, she didn't write the song. She performed it, but she didn't write it. It was a song written, and the journey of this song is actually pretty interesting. So if anybody doesn't know, I'm going to share a little bit, because according to songfacts.com, they've got this documented. So in 1991, songwriters Ann Previn and Scott Cutler wrote this song with Phil Tornelli, a producer who had worked on albums by The Cure, XTC, and Edwyn Collins. The song was first recorded by Danish singer Lis Sorensen as Bryant, I think, and with Danish lyrics written by Elizabeth Nelson, appearing on Sorensen's 1993 record under Sturgeon Ested. I can't. I'm not gonna even. I'm butchering that.
It sounded wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you. Then Previn and Cutler, and this is where I actually first learned about this because when I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time, he actually had them on, and they came on and performed Torn live. So Previn and Cutler then formed a band called Edna Swap, and they released the first English version of Torn on their 1995 debut album. Edna Swap got a little attention, but the song was released in Denmark again in 1996, this time by Norwegian singer Trine Rein with English lyrics. So then Torn found its way to Natalie Imbruglia, with the song's co-writer Phil Thornalley ended up working on her first album. Natalie Imbruglia, for anybody that doesn't know, is an Australian actress who was on the Aussie soap opera Neighbours from 1992 to 1994, the same one Kylie Minogue starred in. We all love Kylie Minogue. Thornalley, who had her record the song, it was released as her first single in 1997, launching her singing career. Her debut album, Left of the Middle, was released in 1998 with Torn as a first track. Thornalley also co-wrote 5 other songs on the album and became one of the most popular producers on pop, with a client list including Ronnie Keating, Bryan Adams, and Mel C. He and Previn teamed up again to write the #1 hit, Mama Do, for Pixie Lot. So, what I did. Phew. Now, I mean, everybody, yeah. But it's once again, it's always interesting to see, like, you know, you think it's such a simple journey when a song is written.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
it was performed by so many people.
It was performed by a lot of people. So what I did, I figured, for everybody here today, if you've never heard the Edna Swap version, I'll play a little bit of that. So you can hear the difference, because the Edna Swap version comes off much darker than the Natalie Imbruglia, which is a lot more like poppy sounding. So let me play a little bit of the Edna Swap version, because I think people are going to be a little bit surprised by this one. So let me get
let's
that.
hear
Let me
it.
get that queued up.
Let's hear it.
Nothing's fine, I'm torn. I'm all out of place.
So these are
Almost Alanis Morissette.
these are the original songwriters.
Cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. Wide
A little more
awake and
emotional.
I can see the perfect sky is torn. You're a little late. I'm already torn.
You know,
And then, hold on,
I don't know if I
it kicks
would-
in here.
So I guess the fortune teller's right. I should
like
have
a
seen
Brandy Carlisle
just
kind of
what
Yeah.
playing this type of version to sing this song.
What'd you say?
I could see like Brandy Carlisle trying to do this type of a version.
Yeah, I could definitely hear it too. I mean, and I got to tell you,
Interesting. I don't hate it.
no, I mean it's definitely it's interesting too. Like, so the original songwriters who then performed the song, like their interpretation of it, right? So then basically from there to, you know, the Natalie Imbruglia
Natalie.
version, which is what a different vibe, right? So, I mean,
Different.
what a different vibe from like a darker, much more serious, much more emotional sounding song to like basically a pop ditty.
He was
This is
warm,
sound
he came
to it.
around like he was dignified.
I mean, the song itself is like,
Showed me what it was to cry.
it's not a happy song,
Well, you couldn't be
No,
that
but her
man
delivery
I
is
adore.
rather chipper for a
but
dark
big,
song.
You don't
right?
seem to know, seem to
Now,
care
all of my
what your
karaoke
heart
is.
is for.
I'm very jealous that Rachel stumbled upon doing this because now I'm like, why didn't I do this as karaoke?
It's a fun song.
Yes, it
But
is.
even when you get to this chorus, like,
Nothing's fine, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel.
compared to like how Edna Swap does it, like it's like heavy and dark
On
and
the floor. Illusion never changed.
this one
Into
would be
something
blasting in
real.
my car. The other one wouldn't have been blasting. It's
No.
not really like a driving song to me. It's more of like I'm in my bedroom sulking sound.
right. But
This
although
is,
this one is definitely like, hey, I'm driving with the car windows down,
yeah,
cruising around Michigan, 17-year-old Amanda Sharp, looking for people to do one-arm push-ups with.
absolutely. You know, and I will say I have very sensitive ears. So my level of cruising with it blasting is like level probably 9, where Chris was probably level 30.
Oh yeah, it's cranked,
Oh,
like
well, that's too loud.
car rumbling. You know, you gotta let everybody know what you're listening to when you're a teenager.
So I feel like my cranking was so low weight compared to other people's cranking.
I mean, so big difference, man, on these songs, though. I gotta tell you, like, but I like
Indeed.
the song. The song
Yeah.
is great. I mean, and it's funny because, like I said, I hadn't even known about the other version.
Yeah.
I had no idea
I
up until I heard them actually come on Howard. They were on Howard and they talked about it and they played it, and I was like, holy smokes! Like, what a huge difference. But you know, it's really cool, and I love hearing the progressions of songs like that. So listen, this is a really good song. It's still fun. I mean, this is definitely, I put this in the category of Target core. You know, this is music they play in Target, so it's in a Target core playlist for sure.
Very.
Natalie Imbruglia is torn for sure. It is definitely 100. You're like shopping in Target. You're like, ooh, let me get some dog treats. Let me get some block of cheese. Let me get some graphic tee. You know, whatever.
Yes. All the things.
All the things are Target. So
Yeah.
this is definitely Target core for sure. And then Torn comes on, and you're like, hey, I'm on
And
my
all the moms my age are just singing it.
yeah. They're
If
all
I can
singing
hear
it.
if I can hear someone in the other aisle,
Yeah.
I'll go and do a little peek, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah, mom core. That's what it is. Mom core. Target core, mom core playlist. That's what this
One
is.
and
So
the same.
yeah. So where do I put the song, right? Rank it on it. I still think the song holds up. for being released and having the journey it's taken, I feel like the song still holds up today. So I think it's a really well-written song, and I do like Natalie Imbruglia's version. I don't dislike it. I think the Edna Swap version is just very interesting, and it's interesting hearing their darker take on the song, which is actually kind of dark to begin with. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it up. You're gonna get a good rating on this one.
Okay.
This is gonna get a 4.2
Nice.
because I do like this song. I think it's a good song, very very well written, and you can't help but sing it when it comes on. I mean, this is a song that was definitely, like, when it came out, played like crazy. I mean, really really play. I mean, every time you turn on MTV, the video was on. Every time you turned on VH1, the video was on. So yeah, really good tune.
And this was one that was radio based for me. I did not have a cassette tape of her, and my first car did not have a CD player. So I just was dependent upon the radio to play this. But I have such great memories of going down Monroe Street, listening to this song and just singing like nobody was watching, and probably everybody was watching.
Everybody is watching.
Or no one really was, but I don't know.
In your head, everybody was staring at you.
Yeah, maybe. Like, oh God. Good or bad?
Good or bad? Good or bad?
All right. Well, I appreciate the 4.2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, it's a really good song. I mean, I feel like it still holds up. So, I mean, you still hear it when you're shopping. Comes on.
We sure do. Hey, and we got some comments coming in here. Scott coming in and saying, cassettes remind me of a few mixtapes. I mean, was there not, and we've spoken about this before, but we'll say it again, the art of recording something from the radio, the precision that your fingers had to like do all the magic and the timing. And I mean, the DJ had such a crucial role into preparing you for that song, getting ready to like go.
Yeah. No, absolutely. 100%. I mean, that was recording, like making mixtapes is an art form. I know there's playlists on Spotify, which I love doing. I make tons of playlists and even mix CDs, but like it definitely is an art. For sure.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Dave coming in with, have you seen the mime version of Torrent? I have not. I got a feeling Dave's going to be sending that to us any second now.
Agreed.
Yeah. But Speeding was her other story.
Absolutely. Yeah. I kept my volume down at like a 9 while speeding.
Yeah. And then Scott with MILFcore.
I have never in my life been referred to as a MILF.
No.
I wouldn't hate it.
Not to your face, maybe.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not dishing for compliments. I'm just saying I'm never usually viewed as that.
Right. At least not to your face. Not to your knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge.
So thank you for that 4.2.
You're
I love it.
You're
All
welcome.
right. So diving into your second song.
My next song.
I have so many thoughts on this song. So many thoughts.
So many thoughts. All right.
Give It Away by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Listen, I feel as if the way that I say give it away stems directly from this song, because the proper
give it away.
Yes, the proper way one should speak give it away is give it away. Yet I find myself saying give it away like very quickly with the give it away now type of sound. So I feel like little does Red Hot Chili Peppers know that a whole group of people say give it away.
Give it away.
Instead of give it away when they speak, because of them. So thank you, Red Hot Chili Peppers, for the give it away. And you didn't
give it away.
Didn't you feel so good when you could say give it away, give it away? Like you just felt like a tongue twister was mastered.
Absolutely. Yeah. The give it away. Like, I mean, it
was powerful.
It's got a great like roll to it. Yeah. Instead of give it away. Like it works so well. Like,
can we give it away? That just sounds so proper, where I'm like deep into the give it away. Just do it. Sounds so quick and efficient. And I really like it. And what I really like, this song has very little substance to it.
Substance.
It's really just like, hey, give it away. And when I looked it up, I was like, ooh, it literally is just about, hey, give it away.
Right. Give it away.
You got it. Give it away.
That's it.
And I mean, what a wonderful message. And I don't think anyone really understood that was the message when they were saying it, because they just love the song so much.
Song's great.
that they
a
don't
great
really
song.
think that there's actually a really good message behind it.
And I agree with Tony. The last good album from Red Hot Chili Peppers, 100%. And now I remember, I have great memories of hanging out with Tony and listening to this record because, so we, both having our licenses, driving, parking in Morris Hills parking lot, high school, and blasting tunes. And Tony's car was like, we all congregated before a class and hung out in Tony's car. And Tony would always have Red Hot Chili Peppers blasting out of his car, or Infectious Grooves, or Suicidal Tendencies, and we just all hung out there until we had to go in, and he'd be blasting like the album right before this, Mother's Milk. We'd always be listening to that, and then when this record came out, blasting this record. So
I love that.
Yeah, nothing like Fully on Bass. Oh my God, yeah, Tony, 100%. So
listen, I'm
definitely
loving that. One of our listeners was in a car with you, Chris, and you guys
went to high school
experienced
together.
this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. And Scott Rewald too. Scott was in high school with us too.
That is so special.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's this record. I agree 100%. This was their last good record. The good old days.
It's this is a staple even because this absolutely was played well beyond 91. I mean, it went well into when I started driving.
Yeah. And this came out, I had the cassette. I remember getting it, and man, this whole record, front to back, great. Awesome to drive around to. Every song on here is just excellent. And, this was the first single, first music video from this record. Music video is crazy. But it works so perfect with the song, because the song is like crazy.
I don't know if I've seen the music video ever, because remember, I wasn't allowed to watch MTV, but is it just them like acting like fools, like just excited and playing like crazy?
It's it's like black and white, and they're wearing like, we'll have to watch it. It's an MTV staple for sure back in the day, but it's them playing, but they're acting like,
it's crazy. Having fun.
They're acting like nuts. It's kind of it's like, it feels like they're like in the middle of the desert or something playing this, and they're dressed. It's all black and white, and I think Flea's got like mirrored like pants on. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'd argue this song still holds up today. I feel like even the younger crowd would probably find some level of interest in this.
Yeah, that's it. Painted full gold body paint. Yeah.
Okay.
This song definitely holds up. I mean, I mean, they just played. I feel like it was just played. I mean, I think it was last year. Last summer. They played Giant Stadium here. Sold it out. I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though to me, personally, they haven't put out a good record in a very long time. I mean, they've had hits for sure.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, to still be able to go on like arena and stadium tours and still sell out,
impressive.
Definitely goes. And this record, in part, this was the record, because Mother's Milk right before this, great record, but it wasn't the commercial success that this record really catapulted them. And Under the Bridge is the song on this record that, I mean, they released a lot of singles from it. So Under the Bridge is the one that like really like kind of set them into like the stratosphere and like real huge commercial success. And being on MTV. I mean, MTV, they played the heck out of those videos. And so but it's a great record. The songs are good. And I think they deserved all the success that they got from this record.
And I love the name of bands. Like, I think it's crazy when it's, let's name us Red Hot Chili Pepper. It's like, okay, like they just looked in the house and was opening up cupboards and go, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay.
Once a drug stopped, they went downhill, in my humble opinion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they all got clean. They were all
good for them.
No, good for them. Glad, but I think definitely affected their musical, the creative output. But
Probably.
Hey. But yeah, great song, and definitely remember cruising around to this one for sure. I mean, for me, how I just couldn't. It's good song. So I don't know if there's anybody who's not heard this song.
I was just gonna say the same.
But I mean, here's a little bit in case you don't know. Give it away! I mean, the bass line in this. I mean, what a groove. come on.
It's,
I mean, it's just insane. Insanely good song.
and this is where this would have been more of one of my like secret songs that I enjoyed because it wasn't necessarily like an Amanda song.
They're like, oh my God, if Amanda's heard listening to this, what would they think?
So I would go from like a 9 to maybe down to a 7 to listen to this one and probably roll up the windows a little. I would not listen to this one with the windows down. This would be one of the ones I would enjoy with the windows up because I had a reputation to keep.
You had a reputation to uphold, you know. Amanda's such a good girl.
She can't be listening to "Give It Away" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
She doesn't listen to Red Hot. Yeah, she doesn't listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The nerve of such a suggestion. Yeah, so I did really enjoy this. And I can remember being in cars with people that listened to this. So a lot of fun memories from the 90s with this song. So where do I rate that with all that being said?
Where do you rate it?
This to me is not quite a 5 record. I feel like it's close for a lot of reasons, but I think it's more because of the nostalgia of it, which is, hey, listen, how we rate music. But, and 50 years, is this still going to hold up? Maybe, maybe not. So I don't know that it would be on my eternal playlist. I wouldn't want to listen to it eternally.
Okay.
But it's close. It's close. So I'm going to put this one in at 4.8.
4.8?
I enjoy it.
I like it.
There's a lot of fun elements to it.
You have enjoyed this way more than I thought you would. So
see, so this one made up for Poundcake.
Wow. Just didn't like Poundcake, man.
Really didn't.
Wow.
So 4.8.
All right, 4.8 for Red Hot Chili Peppers. Give it away.
Give it away. Give it away. Give
it away. Give it away. Give it away. All right, so your next song that you have swapped with me. Oh wait, hold on before we get into
I'm
that.
giggling.
Here is Amanda's worried about her reputation and me dressing like a priest for a week in high school. That's very true.
Do you have any pictures of this that you could send me, Tony?
I'd have to go back. Tony, I know probably has a picture of it, but yeah, that's right.
Oh my
God, I remember that. I remember that.
But why?
Holy crap! Well, I'll let him tell that story. That's a story for him to tell you. But, all right, so your next song to me is I don't want to wait. Yes, I Don't Want to Wait by Paula Cole, otherwise known as the theme song to Dawson's Creek. I mean, and I would just, this song was like, this song infuriated me because you'd be watching WB and the promos for Dawson's Creek would come and all you would hear is, I don't want to wait. And it'd be like every break. And I'm like, enough with the Dawson's Creek, enough with the stupid song. I'm over it. Oh my God. Taking a really good song and just completely shoving it down your throat. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I got so, because it was always just that chorus because they would play it because it was a theme song to Dawson's Creek. And it was just on all the time. And it was just like, I just can't. If I ever have to hear I Don't Want to Wait one more time. So it's been years since I actually have listened to this song.
I can't. This is just so funny thinking of you at a younger age going, I'm never going to listen to the song again. And here 2023 on the Song Swap Showdown, Amanda sends it to you for dissection.
Yeah. Sends it to me for dissection. I mean, honestly, it's not a bad song. It's a good song. Mm-hmm. It's a good song.
Yeah.
But we just talked about Torn, but Torn, even as overplayed as it wasn't a theme song for a TV show. And that's it right there. So while hugely successful, also I feel like, in my humble opinion, damaged the song because
that's fair.
It was a TV show theme song, which we just did that episode, by the way.
Yeah.
And this is a case where I felt like it didn't help the song because they overplayed it too much.
Yes. It was very fitting for the show.
Very fitting for the show. To
your point, like every second it was shoved in your throat associated with that, where I think most people can't hear this and not think Dawson's Creek.
Oh,
even if they didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, the song itself, once again, really good song. A very personal song, too.
Tony!
It is a personal song, and and like I said, it's not a bad song. I mean, Paula Cole, great voice. The song actually, and the reason how it got onto Dawson's Creek, by the way. So the show got onto Dawson's Creek because show's creator Kevin Williamson was a fan of Cole's and asked to use it. We had no idea that it would be such a hit and that it would usurp the brand name that was Paula Cole. We had no idea it was going to be so huge, she told Songfacts. It was unusual at the time for a show to use an existing hit, and it just took over. It gave it a new life for another younger generation, and that generation wasn't aware of the fact that I had a career before that, so really it had been up to them to discover via the internet, I guess. What's unfortunate, though, but maybe fortunate for me, not that I go and watch a lot of Dawson's Creek reruns, but if you watch the show on DVD or stream it on Netflix, actually, it's not on there anymore. They took it off because they didn't want to keep paying the licensing. They did it to save money.
That is interesting. I have found that there's several shows, like Charm, the original Charm is like that. They have taken off the original theme because they didn't have the continued licensing to play it. And I go, man, it does show the power of that song, though, because it just feels different when you don't hear it.
It does, because you're so used to hearing it, and especially like that time when that show was on, which I remember, you remember.
Yep.
Just talk about the promos, everything. That was the song. That was the theme show to the song. So when you hear it now and you watch it and it's gone, you're like, now, younger, they don't know that. They don't know, but like having grown up with that in that time, it's weird.
It is. And I would argue most people watching it on the reruns at this point or streaming it are the people that grew up watching it. They're wanting to binge watch it a little and go back there. So it is a disappointing thing when that crucial piece to the puzzle is gone.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's crazy because it's just something that you just remember, and the nostalgia. And so when it's gone, that nostalgia is kind of like, I mean, the show's still there, but it kicks it off. It's the theme show of the song, the theme song of the show.
Yeah, and I tried to rewatch the series. I really did, and I rewatched it, and this might be a very unpopular opinion. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world.
Oh, I was not a fan of Dawson's Creek. I was not, but I mean, all the actors from that show though went on to like have really good careers for sure. That was the launch pad
for sure. Katie Holmes. I mean, Katie
Holmes. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Just one of the many success stories, but yeah, it just hits differently at 42. I'm like, wow, this is dumb. If my kids are acting like this, I'm gonna get a grip.
Yeah. I mean, geez, a lot of drama for kids these age, but
absolutely, I don't know. Maybe that's real life these days, but it wasn't like that growing up for me. It was a soap opera for kids. Yeah,
absolutely. So this album. So in case anybody, if you found this song not on Dawson's Creek, it was originally released on the album This Fire in 1996 and charted number 11 in the U.S. on Billboard Hot 100. So the song was originally released as its own single and became its own hit. And then became even bigger when it became the theme song of Dawson's Creek, which is wild. And it's actually odd. It's, according to this article, I agree. It is odd to use a hit song as the song for a TV show. But listen, it was a strategy that paid off because it made the show a little bit more recognizable. Like, oh, I know the song, and now watch this. So all right, so where does I Don't Want to Wait rank today? Does the song hold up? I can picture a young Amanda Sharp cranking this song, right? This is you. We're stopped at the stoplight together, right? And I got Poundcake blasting. And then I turn around and I hear, I don't want to wait till our love's over.
Can you imagine if that became a mashup? Those two, like our playlist neck to neck, like our song 1, song 2, where they get like remixed together.
Poundcake and I Don't Want to Wait.
Yeah,
mashed up together. Yeah. Crazy. So I could picture you singing this one. This is a good one. So where do I rank it? So it's a well-written song. I wouldn't say I was a huge Paula Cole fan back in the day. Although I do agree with Dave. Yeah, I prefer Where Have All the Cowboys Gone. I agree with that. Very good song. And I actually will say I like it better, but I understand why the song was a huge hit because it is it's a pop song. It hits all the right notes.
Sure.
But for me, does it hold up? Do I like it? I mean, I never really would just go put the song on. It wasn't on my playlist to listen to. It was literally a radio, like you heard it everywhere, and it was a radio song.
A girl song.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that
without
that's
going gender stereotypish.
but I think
that's fair.
It's a fair way to put it. So, I mean, for me, it's not like it's a bad song. I'm just not it's not something I would have chose to put on to my playlist or CDs or mixtapes and all that stuff. But I do respect the song. So, and I was sick of it for a very long time until Amanda picked it for me. But I mean, listen, I'll give it a 3.5. I mean,
that's fair.
It's not I wouldn't say it's like it's a bit above for me listening to it. It's a little above mid. I mean, it's, I guess it's my Poundcake. It's how I feel, how you feel about Poundcake is how I feel about this song.
Understood. And you know what I will say is when I was freshly 16 and just enjoying belting this at the top of my lungs behind the wheel of my vehicle, I felt like I was singing it with authority, like I knew what I was saying. And now listening to this as an adult with almost 17-year-old son and years of marriage, like I just feel like this song itself and the message behind it is fantastic.
Oh, it's a great story. And actually, if you go and watch the original music video for this song, it's about vampires and being immortal and stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting.
And I think even when I think of his Dave's suggestion where you're saying where have all the cowboys gone, like even appreciating that now in my 40s is going to be different. I think I'm going to need to go listen to this entire record from her because I feel like it will give me some new appreciation. So I accept that 3.5. I really do.
Okay. Yeah, 3.5. I know. Yeah, I saw Tony saying if you score this song above a 3, I believe you were being too nice, buddy. Because when I hear the song, it does associate to a TV show just like driving down the Parkway and hitting Cheesequake service area and smelling Staten Island.
Now, that's what I love is the stories behind the memories of the song because we all go back to a place in time. That's to your 3.5, I believe.
Yeah. That face is to the 3.5. He's like, ah. Yeah. I mean, listen, no, I am great. Like I said, I'm rating the song on the quality of the song. I mean, I'm not a giant fan of the song, but I don't hate it. I just don't choose to listen to it.
Which leads me into your third song to me.
Which is a perfect lead into your last song.
Thank you for taking the words right out of my mouth for me. Which is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
So, yeah, I know this is like one of these. Everybody's going to be like, wait, what? Like, has Amanda ever heard this song before? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Amanda's heard this song before. But if we're talking about songs we were listening to when we got our license.
Exactly.
This record came out in 1991, and I remember the local radio station. Now, I'm going to say, was I a fan of was Nirvana on my radar? I'm not going to be one of these fake fans who say, oh, I was listening to Bleach before. No, I did not know of Nirvana. I did not listen to Nirvana. I didn't know Bleach, the first record before Nirvana. I literally heard Smells Like Teen Spirit for the first time on WDHA 105.5, and they had said, I remember being like, this is a new record that came out from a band from Seattle, called Nirvana. It's a really good song. We all I remember them playing it, and then I was like, yeah, this is really good. This is like kind of the stuff that I like. It's like, it's not metal because I do want to paint a picture. In 1991, I was very deep into metal and hard rock. Like that was like, now while I did listen to some punk and hardcore, the main things on my radar were metal, like Metallica and Anthrax and thrash metal stuff and even some death metal. And then I was also listening to hard rock, like still Guns N' Roses and Van Halen. So I was kind of in those worlds. And hearing Nirvana was like, wow, this is like punk and all the hard rock stuff I like. This is really this was like fresh for me at that time. And I remember going out and buying this record, and being blown away by it. Blown away by this record. And, I know it sounds corny and cliche to say it now, but I mean, at the time, in 1991, Smells Like Teen Spirit was unique and it was refreshing. I know it's hard to say now, but in 91 it was. Because it wasn't what was on. It wasn't what was being played on the radio, and it wasn't actually even what was big at the time.
I think refreshing is a very interesting word to use, but I can appreciate why you're saying that. As a person who listened to your type of music, it was something new and effective, kind of like when maybe Taylor Swift entered the country world. There was something new and unique about a new season of country coming out.
It was different because it also took a lot of like the indie rock stuff, right? Which I listened to some of the indie. I was into like the Dinosaur Juniors and like, and that to me was like, I always knew that you were never going to hear like that stuff on, which actually then wound up becoming on the radio, which was hilarious because Nirvana actually then said, "Oh, let me go," and this stuff started getting played. But like at that time, Nirvana was an underground band who like indie rock band, like who just got huge, and for the right reasons because the record is phenomenal. But like really dialing it back, like when it came out, everybody, it was just, this is cool. This is different. I like this. It's not like boring corporate rock stuff. Yeah, exactly. I remember talking with Word about the song being played on Headbangers Ball right after Pantera and laughing about it. Yeah, exactly. But it was like, what is going on here? You know, the video's crazy. It's just, and the fact that it became as massive a hit as it did, like, it's just, I mean, we all know the story. Don't need to rehash it. But in 1991, when I got my license and this record came out, I was definitely blasting this one. I had this on cassette.
Very interesting. So I have memories of the song. Obviously, I did not blast this in my vehicle. I didn't even listen to it in my vehicle. But I have memories of being in a vehicle and listening to it because I was able to hang out with my older sister more than I think what a lot of sisters allowed. And I would ride in the car with people she was with. And of course, they would kind of...
Yeah.
Her boyfriend at the time was Mark, and we'd be like, Marky Mark, Monkey Bunch, you know, just be stupid. Or at least I don't know if I ever said it out loud, but that was what was in my head. And I remember having this crush on the guy that would always be in the car with him. And we were in this tiny little truck. So I would have to, like, 4 of us would be sitting so that we didn't wear seatbelts at the time. Sorry, everyone. Like, I know it's important. It was just a different time.
It was a different time.
It was a different time. And so I was like, I'm so close to him. And I thought I was the coolest thing in the world, listening to some Nirvana, sitting next to a guy that I had a crush on for no reason other than he was an older guy. He wasn't even attractive. It was so stupid.
It was an older man.
He was an older man, which I always was attracted to. That's a whole different show. But yeah, so I have memories of this. But for me personally, it's not like, while I have memories of it, it was just fun time memories, not that memories of like loving this song. So if nobody's listened to it before ever in the world, maybe we should spin a little bit and just listen to a little bit of Nirvana's "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Just in case there's 1 or 2 people out there who've never heard this song.
Absolutely. And when I was Googling, I did find out that it was basically written with that. They were just out with a night of shenanigans, and one of the bandmates just basically came up with "Smells Like Teen Spirit" after they had been drinking all night, and they all stunk a little bit from the activities of the night before.
So here we go. In case you've never heard this before.
I can say, like, I do appreciate the sound of it. I just think it goes on and on and on and on.
And it's actually not even that long of a song. Oh, I guess it is. It's 5 minutes. It's a great song, man.
You could play a couple of those notes and people would be able to.
I mean, that's the opening chord progressions. Like, so many kids learned how to play guitar from this song.
Oh, I bet how empowering.
This inspired a generation of kids to start bands and play guitar.
Which I love that. I really love that.
I mean, hello. I mean, man, what? It's like, song holds up, man.
You know what I feel like it is? They made us write a song and perform it, and I want to. Like, we're just gonna sing it like no big deal.
Yeah. Daddy, daughter, coming in. That one person. That one person who's never heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit." They got to be out there, like, Alex. They got to be out there. It has to be one person who's never heard "Teen Spirit" being like, "I've never heard that song before. Who is this band Nirvana? Maybe I should check them out."
Maybe your daughter's age and younger.
Right? Exactly. Maybe there's a 16-year-old who's like, "I've never heard this song before." So.
I love it. Maybe.
According to our statistics, there's about 20% of people between the ages of 16 and 19 who listen to this show. So,
oh my gosh. So they probably won't hate the rating I'm going to give now.
no.
All right. So I
All
do have some nostalgia with this. I can
Yeah.
100% see you having your windows down and enjoying this musical delight at the level of 30.
This is cranked.
I can assure you, I did not listen to this in my vehicle ever. And if it came on the radio, I would have, manually turned the knob. Manually. Yeah, there was no skippage.
So it's literally like Amanda's got the radio on, and then it's like, and now we're gonna hear this, and it's like, and then skip.
Yeah, you had to I had to physically turn the knob to get to the other station because
and then it goes. She goes, oh
nope, passing on that.
Next song. Oh, there we go. That's what I want to hear. That's it.
Well, on our playlist, it was funny because, of course, I listened to it on the way to wherever I'm going. Yeah. And this song came on, and then the next one is Brandy's.
Yeah.
the
but
really
Katie Snow,
chill,
Katie
version.
Shaw.
I was like, oh my gosh, our playlist is so eclectic. I love
from
it.
Smells Like Teen Spirit to Katie Shaw. You're a
fort
fine girl.
on the Western Bay. So funny. All right, so where do I rate this? I give this song... Okay, let's see.
I actually didn't realize that, Dave. Great trivia. Did you realize that the theme song for Futurama, Smells Like Teen Spirit, played on bells? I didn't know that. I did not realize that. Wow.
I'm not a huge fan of Futurama.
I love Futurama. I never realized that, Dave. That's an awesome piece of trivia.
Interesting. See, he knows. Dave knows.
Dave, man. Dave coming in with some gold right there.
He throws us bones all the time. He's just so great.
Love it, Dave. Thanks for sharing it.
All right, so I'm going to put Teen Spirit. I'm a little stuck between the 3.0 on this one to a 3.8. The range is pretty high. I cannot go in the
How could you rate this song mediocre?
I can't. No, average.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to give this then to the highest that I'm willing to go, which is simply a 3.8.
Wow. All right.
That's almost a 4, and I feel like I'm being very generous.
Jeez, you're rough today.
Sorry. But look, I gave 4.8 to your second song to
yes,
me.
You did give 4.8 to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Give it away now. So, okay, 3.8. That's where we're at.
Okay. All right. Very good. You have spoken. You have spoken. All right. So your last and final song to me is not a song that I was familiar with at all because it isn't a genre of music that I could tell you I 1,000% was not listening to in 1991.
Do you know
when
that
I got my
was
license.
Something that I did giggle about because when I threw this on, one, you would have never just cranked this in a vehicle ever.
No.
It's a very girl song. But the fact that it was country and a girl song, I could never have seen 17-year-old Chris even having an open mind to even listening. Even if a girlfriend was like, can we please listen to this? You'd have been like, no. Hard no.
Yeah, I don't even know. It would definitely would have been a hard no. Definitely would have. I'd be like, you let's do it on your own time. Dave, real quick, just go back to Teen Spirit. Dave, feel happy with mediocre, Chris. If I was rating it, Nirvana would be a 1.0 dumpster fire. Wow, Dave with a controversial statement.
He is like, this is hot garbage. Dave, if I didn't love Chris so much, I may kind of have been on there with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, here it goes. See, too nice, Chris. Yep, you're right. I was too nice about Paula Cole. Interesting. Thank you, Tony. Which means I get to take my wrath and fear out on this next song.
Sorry, Lila.
No. So honestly, I never heard this song. It was not something on my radar at all. I didn't know who Lila McCann was either. It's sometimes you give me country artists, I'm like, I at least recognize the name, even though I don't know the song. But yeah, I didn't know much about her either. But doing some little bit of research on Lila McCann, right? Lila McCann. Yeah, interesting. She was actually 16 when she made her country music debut with the song "Down Came a Blackbird." It was the first single from her 1997 record, really Lila, which is a best-selling album for a debut country artist. It went platinum and earned her a comparison to Leanne Rimes. This song was the first of 12 singles McCann would net on Billboard country charts. Her most successful was I Wanna Fall in Love, which is this one, which peaked at number 3 on the U.S. country charts and number 1 in Canada. She then followed it up with a 1990 song With You, which also cracked the Billboard Hot 100 for pop music. Oh, so crossover before Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
However, her third and fourth singles from the album cover Sheena Easton's Almost Over You and Mark Shapiro Andrew Gold team up Yippee Ki-Yay did not perform well on the charts. McCann returned with Something in the Air in 99 and Complete with 2000. So, yeah, didn't know this song, but I will tell you, listening to the song, because now I listen to things with a much more open mind than I did in 1991, whereas if you probably gave me this song, I would have thrown it right out the window.
You would have, which...
if you had given me this as a CD, I would have been like, what is this? What am I listening to here? That's exactly, I was definitely much more of a music snob back then, for sure. What is this? Why are we listening to this? Oh, can I just pop this in the cassette deck? What is? Get this out of here! This
Get out of here!
Polluting my vehicle with this music.
This and yourself out of my car.
Yeah, you could just get out. Just get out. Well, but we're on the middle of the highway. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Just get out. You're on your own. But I'm no longer like that. I'm older. I'm much more mature. I'm much more open. I'm not so much of a snob that'll pull over on the side of the road and kick you out of my car.
You would no longer leave a lady on the side of the road over a song.
Would never do that today. But I actually found the song to be like, I found myself liking it. You know, like
appreciating
today's ears, right?
Sure.
I appreciate it. I thought it was actually pretty catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's got a great voice. I found the chorus to be really, really like actually pretty memorable. So I like the vibe of the song was definitely fun. So let me play a little bit of it because I'm not sure how many people know this song. Here we go. I'm starting to pile. Well, stop that, Chris. Give Amanda your true ratings.
He's gonna start putting the memory of what I've rated your other songs.
No, but I listen. This show's about being honest, right? So, once again, would not have listened to the song back in the day. I wouldn't have just voluntarily listened to this today unless Amanda gave it to me. But the days of me throwing it out the window of my car are over. Kind of. No.
Won't you listen to my heart crying out loud?
I mean, I would say that this is definitely typical for the time. This came out in 97. This sounds like 90s country crossover stuff to me.
You know, I felt this probably more now in my car than I probably did at 16.
Yeah. Like, here. This is All I See Is Amanda. All I See Is Amanda. Driving around Ida. Finger guns.
At that age. Now I am.
Now she is.
Watch out.
Watch out, Ida. Amanda's stepping out. I wanna fall. Yeah, so.
Oh, good. It's happy.
It's definitely positive and happy. Listen, I get it. I get it. Would I voluntarily go and listen to this song on my own? The answer is no.
Okay. Understood.
Right? Yeah. Tony, great. This is girls' night at the old honky tonky with $2 margaritas. Yes.
Fair.
You just painted the picture perfect. 100% that. Amanda, even though Amanda's drinking $2 virgin margaritas though, because Amanda does not drink it. So, but she's at karaoke night at the old honky tonk.
I'm sure I could pick it right back up. I used to
headbanging Amanda to this. Yeah, exactly. Amanda's headbanging.
Okay, so let's just talk about that because it's not inaccurate. So imagine like a 16-year-old to 18-year-old boy pulling up to me, and I was not pretty at 16 to 18 to 25 to 30. Like stop. I don't think I was actually somewhat attractive until I probably hit 35. But anyway.
I don't like this self-loathing.
I don't. No, I mean this in the most accepting way. Like, please just understand when I say those things. I guess made an effort. So when you look over and then some 16-year-old boy who's fully expecting to maybe pick up a chick or something in the car next to you, and you see me singing this song, first strike against myself, to the fact that I'm headbanging to it. Second strike, I'm in a Buick Century, like proud as can be, on a pillow because I'm too short to see over the
To this song?
To this song. I mean, and we wonder why I had to pick up Marcus in the parking lot doing one-arm push-ups.
On the pillow.
That was cool for me. Honest to God.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot stress enough.
And this led to one-arm push-ups in the parking
Yes,
lot.
I had to go big. I had to make changes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because my sister went into the Army. And so we would do some push-ups together. And that's the only reason I learned how to do the one arm.
Well, it paid off.
It paid off. I got
You
money out of
invested and it paid off.
Yes. Oh, the stories I share on this show.
You got a husband out of that.
I sure did. Marcus regrets it every day of his life.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't.
He wouldn't agree.
Oh, poor Marcus.
Poor Marcus. Every episode.
Yeah.
Tony had
boy.
already put that in the comments about 30 minutes ago.
I missed that one. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yep. So that's where we're at.
Girls, it's a Betty whose bridal birthday weekend's on.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. That's it. Oh my gosh.
Man. Wow, we get derailed.
Alex is saying I
so
peaked
much.
at 10 and it all went downhill from there.
I don't
Oh, see,
believe
Dave's
it.
coming in. I can't believe Amanda was ever unattractive.
That is such a Dave comment, though.
Look at Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I
thank
feel
you,
like
Dave.
he would say that regardless. Out of our support for us.
Oh, man.
Love you, Dave.
All right. So where am I ranking? Where am I ranking Lila McCann's I Want to Fall in Love? Listen, not a bad song. Not one that I would voluntarily go. I definitely feel like it's girls. I
Sure.
agree with Tony's painting of this picture. It's the girls' night out, the old honky tonk with $2 margaritas.
Sure.
And by the way,
don't disagree.
nothing wrong with that. By the way,
I don't
I'm
disagree.
not. I don't agree to anything negative about that at all. I think it's
1,000,000%.
great. Everybody should have the rally song. This is Amanda's rally song.
And I really do like Down Came a Blackbird. Excellent.
Not my rally song, but not a bad song. It's not a bad song. It's not a dumpster fire. It's not a 2. We put that out there. It's in the 3s for me. So
Fair.
I'm going to give it a 3.2.
Okay. I receive that. I really do.
And that's not a revenge rating, by the way.
No,
That's just,
believe
it's
it.
how I feel. It's how I felt going into today. And it's how I still feel about it.
Yep.
But I don't think if it came on,
Yes.
I would no longer kick someone out of the car for putting it on.
I love that. And this episode was about our playlist that we were jamming to. I don't think I could have stacked it to win it because what I was listening to was what I was listening to.
Hey, no, it is. It is what and listen, we're dialing back the clock a little bit and we're still fans of this stuff. It's what we would have been. Once again, the theme of this was basically, we got our license. What are we cranking, right? I just got my license. I got my car. What's on my playlist? What am I blasting out at that time? This is what I was blasting out at the time. It's what you were blasting out at the time.
Absolutely. And I have since reconnected with Lila on the good old TikToker.
Nice.
And she came back and, she has since said that basically her career ended most part because they told her there wasn't room for her in country music. Like there were too many other stars or whatever. And I go, oh man, I really wish she would have a better manager. So she got out of the music. I mean, outside of those few things that continued, but it was nothing like the success of this particular album. And she's actually very successful in real estate down in Tennessee. So I think that's super fun. Little connection. And
Absolutely,
it's kind of fun
nice little connection.
kind of seeing her as a older woman now on TikTok to give that perspective of what that little 16-year-old singer, was feeling at that time. So it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, listen, and the fact is too, she did something very few people can actually say they did, which is have hit records, hit songs, number 3 on Billboard. I mean, it's not easy. And the fact that she did it, she's always going to have that. So, kudos to her, man. Kudos to her. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. All right. So that wraps up this week's ratings.
Yes.
And if
you
we
are
do,
at 11.8. Yep.
Okay.
You're at 11.8, and I am at a piddly 10.9. So you are the winner of going back in time and feeling the freedom of driving back in 91. Congratulations, sir.
I had hair then. I had my mullet. I had a flowing mullet back in the day. I had it all. I had it all going on. I had my jean jacket.
I was gonna ask, like, was your hair blowing in the wind? Because I know I loved that feeling, like kind of like when you first were able to ride your bike alone.
Oh,
and by yourself for the first time, that wind and the freedom, like that you felt by that.
Yeah.
And then to get behind the wheel, something that almost every kid dreams about doing for that first time. And I had a July birthday, so the windows could be down, and that experience of just that wind and the smells of freedom. Chris had a mullet. I had a mohawk. Dave,
you should tell your story about how you got almost arrested. So let's hear the story. For everybody who's stuck in there. All right, Tony said sure. So do your story, and then I'm going to share Tony's picture.
Okay, so this was when I was a little bit older. Say because this is I now know Marcus time.
Right.
But still rather into my driving experience.
Not married, not engaged,
Correct.
New and still
courting. And this was, I think, officially before we were even truly dating, before he broke me up and the other person. So I was trying to be in 2 places at one time. So I had an engagement with my one friend, needing to go meet Marcus afterwards. And my friend was actually a girl. She just had a little party thing. Right. So I got lost on the way from her house. So I ended up north instead of going south. And so I had to stop at this really gross place. I don't even remember what it was. I was like, how do I get to Telegraph Road? And they're like, oh, honey, you're way off the beaten path. I'm like, that's why I'm asking for help, because this was before the phones, right?
We had maps and written directions.
We had maps, and I didn't have time to look at a map. I needed to be where I needed to be. So they're like, okay, take this to this to this. I finally get back to Telegraph Road, and I'm like way north. And so I'm like, all right, I got to pick up some speed. So I was cruising. I was doing probably 85.
Right.
In a 45. To the point where the cop that I passed, and I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, boy.
Didn't even probably clock me because he just could see.
He just knew you were cruising.
Cruising. So I did what any normal new driver would do. I try to flee, and then I pull into a parking lot. Blockbuster parking lot that was in a little strip mall. Yeah. And I park into the first parking spot I can find in the middle of a bunch of other cars, and I turn off my car and hide. It was instinct. I don't know how I did it. I just knew to do it.
Wow.
Praying this man wasn't going to find me. And then he goes on my window.
Were you leaning down too when he knocked on the window?
I was down. I roll down the window, the roll of shame, trying to figure out how I can describe.
What am I possibly going to say?
Why were you going so fast, young lady? I was lost. Those were the first words I said.
Usually when you're lost, you don't speed up.
And then I said the dumbest words after saying I'm lost. I was hoping you would pull me over to help me.
And what did he say to that?
He goes, then why did you pull into this parking lot and hide?
Hide!
I don't, because the parking lot was safe.
Wow. You know what? He was like, just stop talking.
He had his pad of paper. He's like, young lady, I could be pulling your butt in jail right now, but instead I'm going to write you a ticket for this. I was thank God. Thank God. And so this is the kicker. I didn't want my mom to know I got a ticket.
Right.
So every day while I was at work, on my break, I would drive home real quick, check the mail, and come home because I knew the ticket was going to come in the mail or whatever was associated with the ticket had to come in the mail. I think I had to wait
it comes in the mail. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for a month, I had to do that until it finally came. And then I could like pay for it without her knowing. Because I had my own insurance, so she would have never known.
Right. You're on your own insurance. And then your insurance points go up and all that. Wow. You did luck out.
In what world were my answers appropriate?
I don't know. See, I agree with Tony though. This is the move that you should have done. The cry with cleavage. There you go.
I was too busy saying, I hope you would have pulled me over.
That's the move. That's the move.
That's how I got Marcus. That's how I got out of the ticket.
So, maybe Amanda would have been in more trouble in high school. Chris Weiger. Chris and I would have been buds and probably gotten into a lot of trouble. And then he goes, maybe Amanda would have been more trouble. Would have been more trouble in high school.
I have yet to tell Owen the story because I'm so embarrassed by it.
It's a good thing he doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah, 100%. He's not going to hear it from here.
Well, Amanda, you definitely lucked out. I mean, I've definitely had my close calls too, but I never pulled anything like that.
Oh my gosh. It was instinctive to flee. What does that say about me?
It just means that you were a kid and you made a dumb decision. That's it.
Just without thought, though.
But you're a kid. Kids make stupid decisions. You're a teenager. There's a reason why we say stupid teenagers. It
was so stupid.
Yeah. But hey, the point is you didn't go to jail, and it's a fun story that we can tell on our podcast all these years later.
I know. I hope it was worth the wait, everybody. Yeah. I hope you guys still view me the same as when you started watching this episode.
So do you want to see a picture of Tony Forkboy Delano? All right. Yes. So here's Tony.
Where's our Tony?
Right there.
Oh my God.
Right here.
What a baby face.
Yeah, that's Tony.
There we go. Yeah. Go down Tony. a little bit down more. There. What a good. Tony.
That's Tony.
Adorable. Adorable. And Tony's coming in with Michigan and snow globe water. I'll blame it on the snow globe.
Yeah. We're talking about a woman who drinks snow globe water.
But did I die or get arrested?
No. In both instances, you took a risk in both, and they both paid off.
I've always been a risk taker.
Yeah, you've always been a risk taker. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing that story. I know that you and I could go on and on. I have definitely stories. We have lots of driving stories. I know our community here. I'm sure you guys have been listening to this, and I'm sure you've all had amazing stories. Yeah, Tony and me and my hair flipped too.
Good hair.
Yeah, definitely.
Adorable. You both were adorable. Still are.
Yeah, no, he still is.
You both are.
He's still adorable. I just wish I had hair. But anyway, great show today, Amanda Sharp. A lot of fun. I hope everybody out there who's been listening to us and hung in there for this whole show also found it as much fun, found the nostalgia fun. We do have one more thing left to do, though, Amanda. What do we have left to do?
Okay, but you know what? I meant to say this to you before the show because next Monday, is it still technically November?
It is still November. It's after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so
I figured
do a show. Okay. Yeah. I was like, are we going straight into Christmas? Are we doing one more regular thing?
We're doing one more regular show, and then we will start the holiday blitz. Does that sound good?
I'm willing to agree to that.
Or does I guess we should have asked the community this, but
I think one more show. I think you're right.
One more regular show, and then we do the holiday blitz.
I like it. Okay.
And we'll spin a holiday wheel to pick those themes, and we'll do a special episode on that.
I like that. Okay. I'm trying to give away our regular shows because I love Christmas so much, but I can deal with it.
All right.
All right. Let's do the wheel of show themes.
All right, everybody, here we go. Spinning the wheel of show themes as we do at the end of every show. And this will be our last regular, I guess, theme show of the year, I suppose. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. However, we're going to do this, and then we'll do a special spin the holiday wheel, much like we did for Halloween, and we will pick some holiday themed shows. So we will post that in the Facebook group so that way you can all give us some ideas for special holiday themed shows, and we'll put them on the wheel, and then we'll spin it 3 times and pick, or 4 times, whatever, and we'll pick the next themed episodes.
And Tony's comment, for God's love, please, one more regular show. Well, you got it, Tony.
For one more regular show.
This
All right.
is for you.
All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel and see what next week's show theme will be.
Well, the suspense.
The suspense.
I can't believe how full that wheel is every time it spins. Oh, what do we got?
Wow.
Oh.
Going way back in time.
We're 83 years back in time.
Wow, 1950.
1950.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know who
All
put
right.
that one on.
Year
there.
my
Where did that
mama
one-
was born.
Okay, so all right, so listen, we're picking songs, swapping songs with each other that were big in the year 1950.
1950. Okay.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of good tunes back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah, bring on the Bobby Vinton. Yeah, exactly, Tony. Right. So, yeah, I think this will be a good one. This will be fun. There was a lot of great songs written in 1950, and probably more than we would even. Yeah. So Dave is saying 50 or 50s. Well, what do you think we should do? You think we should just do the year 1950, or should we make it the 50s?
I'm really open to either. And
You know what? Let's do the 50s. Let's
50s
open it up.
Okay,
Yeah, back
let's
in
do it.
time, 1950. So it would have to be a song that was released between the years of 1950 and 1959. So let's do that. I agree with Dave coming in with that. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I like that. And I'm going to try so hard to find some hidden gems to give you.
Okay.
Because obviously we both know the 1950s hits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take some time and dive a little deeper and try and find us some music that both of us maybe have not listened to that we can add to our playlist.
I think that's fair. I think it'll be fun. So yeah. So let's. And
I like it.
Are we doing holiday 19? Because there was a lot of Christmas music released in the 1950s.
Tony, is that allowed?
But all right, but no, there was also a lot of really great rock and roll, a lot of great. So we'll keep it non-holiday related,
Okay.
I think, because we will be doing a bunch of holiday songs that will be coming up. So we'll be doing that. So next week's show is songs from 1950 back in times, 1950, 1959. We'll be swapping songs with each other from that time period and then rating and reviewing them on a scale of 1 to 5 records. We will post this in the Facebook group as well. We'd love to hear your suggestions and see if any of those will make our playlist as well. And then we will do a special, we'll announce that too, a special spinning the wheel for holiday shows where we will pick our next 3 to 4 holiday themed shows.
I love it.
Yes.
And I just have to say, and I know you will echo this, this show has been an hour and 45 minutes long, and we have had people tune in the entire time. And so this is almost 2 hours of your time you will never get back. And we are so thankful you spent it with us this morning. So thank you for being here. Thank you for these comments.
Yeah.
This conversation has been so much fun this episode. It always is, but the extra dialogue we got today just has been phenomenal.
Absolutely. No, you guys have been absolutely great, and we really appreciate you. And I know Dave Shumman and Fork Boy, I'm with you. Christmas music is the worst. I will say I love Christmas music, but the idea is that we're going to do some really cool themes.
Yeah.
And so we want to do some theme ideas so that way it's not just holiday, but, so like last year we did different themes, and we even did the one, which I would love to do a part 2 of, which was funny holiday themes, funny songs. And we did that. Mark Ronick stepped in, and we had a great time. So, we want to make it theme based so that way, we can mix it up a little bit more, maybe make the song choices a little bit more interesting than just the typical holiday fare. So.
And I will throw this out there. For the last 2 Decembers, I've gotten super sick.
Yeah.
And someone had to step in for me. So just in case that happens again, start throwing your name in the hat for Chris to have somebody to be as co-host. I'm going to try my best because no one wants to be sick.
No sick this year.
That's what I keep saying. Well, I'm going to do it.
No sick this year. Yeah. No sick this year. So... All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for hanging in there in this longer edition of the show. But you know, it has been a fun one. A lot of great stories to tell, and we're so super appreciative of all of you. And yeah, thank you once again to everybody who has taken the time to hang out with us and hit that subscribe button and that like button and the follow button wherever you listen to us, especially on YouTube. You guys have just been absolutely amazing, and please keep the suggestions coming, keep the feedback coming, keep the engagement coming. You guys have just been absolutely incredible. So really, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's just insane how much we love you all and how much support you've shown us. So it's just absolutely great. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. So make sure you check in next week for another live version of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown right here, wherever we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Check us out on the live version, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, always check us out on demand or on the go, wherever you get podcasts. And we will see you guys next week. Get notified every single time we drop a new episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. Just hit that follow button wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, please use the email address in our show notes and we'll get right back to you. And last but not least, please feel free to follow us over on our social accounts on Instagram and TikTok at Song Swap Showdown, or join our ever-growing community in our Facebook group by using the link in our show notes. Thanks for listening.